I hope not. I don't think the way the game's going right now that it will, but I can see in the future, you know, once the well one runs dry, they might implement something. But I just hope it's not like, you know, Squeal of Fortune, or if you could just buy levels, because that's the reason that RS3 went the way it did, you know, and everyone came back to old school.
Gosh, I really hope not. I mean, RuneScape 3 is like a mess with microtransactions, and if anything, like anything of that, like the Wheel of Fortune or any of that, like anything like that came into OSRS, it would completely turn me off of the game. I feel like its spawns are like just acceptable for me, and so like if something crazy came into the game where it's a microtransaction, I would probably just like try to stop my RuneScape addiction as soon as I could, go cold turkey.
I mean, isn't bonds kind of pay to one, kind of?
Yes, they are.
So they already do, but it's very expensive to if you want to like buy the gold to get every single Bible 99.
Do you think Oldschool Runescape is ever gonna have microtransactions and pay-to-win elements?
Nah, the game looks too ugly for that.
You think
You
so?
can't have an ugly game and also have microtransactions.
I really don't think so. Maybe like 10 years if it's still going, which I'm sure it will be. I don't know.
I mean, I want to believe no, but I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if at some point there were microtransactions.
I want to say no, and I definitely hope not, but who really knows? You know, I've seen many corporations or companies sell out for the dollar, so.
I don't think it will happen because it's such a, it's such a hotly debated topic. I think everyone goes on about it and is so concerned about it so much. I just don't think they'll ever bother. But ultimately, there are stakeholders in, I don't know, Jagex or whatever, that probably will want to do it from a profit perspective. So I can't rule it out, but I think of all of the games to suddenly deploy microtransactions overnight, I don't think Old School is the one.
I think maybe at some point, if it were to switch into different investors, then that could go through. I mean, I have heard rumors that it is RuneScape or Jagex might be going public, and if then the investors start forcing it really hard, then that might happen.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, they tried it. They kind of tried it before with the Twitch Prime getting the purple skin, and that was received quite negatively. So I don't think they would jeopardize the game because of that.
I think not. I think the current development team is too much in touch with its player base. I think the top of Jagex is not, but I think they know that the development team knows what they're talking about. And I do think Old School RuneScape wouldn't survive microtransactions, and I think they know that.
Yes, I think it will. I hope it doesn't, but it just seems like an inevitability. Because I mean, RuneScape 3 was the exact same thing, and I know they're trying to do different, but no, I think it's an inevitability with anything of this nature.
I don't think they will, because you look at how the RS3 community handles it. Like, a lot of people don't really play that game anymore, and they have the Squeal of Fortune or whatever it's called. And I know like the OSRS community isn't a big, or they're not big fans of these microtransactions, and they'd probably end up in Falador for like a month long just until they got it out.
Not with the pull system, no. I don't think the players would stand for it.
But would you be okay with that? Like, let's say you see the outfit I'm wearing right now. It's purely cosmetic, right? Would you be okay if players could buy it for real life money?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, cosmetic items are fine, as long as they're untradeable, and it doesn't. It's actually a good thing. I would prefer if we had cosmetic items.
For real life money?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a good thing?
No, well, some people who wanted them could buy them, and Jagex make money.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost any game that's popular enough will gravitate to microtransactions. I mean, as long as the players get a say in it, it won't happen. But I think that will eventually stop, and then they will sneak their way into the game.
But what about you, though? So let's say, for example, you see the outfit I'm wearing right now.
Right.
So would you be okay if this cosmetic outfit was sold for real life money by Jagex?
No. If it would ever be in a poll, I would definitely vote no. I wouldn't like that.
No, not really. I think it starts with cosmetics and it spirals out of control really, really quickly.
Yeah, so basically keep it at 0.
Yeah. If it can't be earned in the game, I don't think that it should be in the game.
I would be disappointed. I don't think cosmetics alone would cause me to stop playing or to be especially upset. But I would certainly feel disappointed if they started to take that strategy.
If they were to explain how cosmetic items could help them financially and they actually use those finances towards, making the game better, then I would probably be more inclined to vote for it. But if it were my say and I was in charge and money wasn't an issue, I'd say no, because I think it's just going to ruin the vibe of the game, and it's going to slowly become Squeal of Fortune, so whatever it's called.
Yeah.
When ModMac K was still there, it was kind of, you knew it was in good hands. I'm sure the JMods that are there now have the same kind of mindset, but I know that when Matt was there, he really, really pushed to keep microtransactions out.
I see.
I don't know if the rest of them still have that same commitment. I'm sure they probably do, but I don't know. It was pretty sad to see him go.
Hopefully not. I mean, that would go against the entire philosophy of the game. I'm kind of worried about it. I know there's been some talk, that they might at some point, but it would change everything. And you know what? Actually, if they do it in RuneScape 3, right? I'd be okay with that. I've got nothing against the game. It's just not my thing. It's not, there's no nostalgia. It's not what I grew up on. If they want to do that and try to sort of make it a new thing, that's fine. But not old school RuneScape. That would change everything.
RuneScape already does. People just either have chose not to notice it or don't talk about it enough. Microtransactions are already in the game through bonds in a way, where it kind of is pay to win if you're looking at the elements of getting a bigger bank and a gear, more gear in your bank. You could buy a bond, turn that straight to GP, and it's already pay to win.
I don't think they would be that stupid again, because they know if they did do that, they would lose a large proportion of the fan base.
That's hard to tell, really, but I really hope they won't. Kind of like it the way it is at the moment.
What about, like, let's say you see the outfit I'm wearing right now?
Yeah.
Would you be okay if Jagex sold this outfit for real life money?
I would be okay with it, but I personally wouldn't buy outfit. I mean, as you can tell from what I'm wearing, I am not into outfits right now.
I see.
So, yeah, if they wanted to, I suppose, but it kind of one thing leads to another from there. So I'd rather they wouldn't do that.
I mean, that's a tough one, because it doesn't add anything other than how it looks, but it also opens up the doorway to other microtransactions. So I'm just gonna go with no. I wouldn't.
No to everything.
I wouldn't want that. Yeah, I don't want any microtransactions.
No pay to win elements, no cosmetics, no nothing.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, I would be against it because I think the purpose, like you see somebody with an infernal cape, right? And obviously that's, like you said, no stats, but like a crude example, you see someone with an infernal and you know what they did to get it, or they paid somebody else to do it. But I think if everyone just starts buying items, then it loses its integrity. That's why we laugh at everyone that has an obby cape, you know? Because they're buying it.
The base of this game is that there aren't any, and for that we have RuneScape 3, I mean. And I think the community really hangs on tight to that, to not having any pay to win other than the bonds, which are like not the best way to make it pay to win. The black market is way more appealing.
I don't think I would necessarily mind people being able to buy cosmetic items. I think I would mind if they were cosmetic overrides, like RuneScape 3 has, because I kind of find that diminishes the purpose of Fashionscape, right? If it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna, if I wasn't actually wearing the items that I'm wearing right now, I feel like that would kind of defeat half the purpose, especially since, you know, a lot of the cool items you have to achieve in some sense. And so I'm not against the idea that there's some cool items which you don't have to achieve, right? Like if you want to wear Third Age, all that requires you is to spend a boatload of money on bonds and sell the bonds, and there you go, you can afford Third Age. That won't get you a monkey backpack though. So I think there's a place for it, but I don't think it should be all encompassing.
With how often RuneScape has exchanged hands, I think there is an extremely high possibility, especially seeing as how much staff have been leaving. I've noticed most of the passionate developers at RuneScape tend to leave rather quickly, which is very disconcerting because I don't doubt that there's a lot of discussion going on about profitability of microtransactions. They're going to remain focusing on RuneScape 3 and always experimenting initially on RuneScape 3 prior to releasing such microtransactions to old school.
Okay, this is a tough question because obviously they have it in RuneScape 3, and I know management is sort of like similar in both of the games, and I think eventually it might, but it won't be anytime soon. But I think bonds being in the game, they are good. I like them a lot, but that is a step towards microtransactions because it basically is, if you think about it. Obviously, you're not adding any money to the game. You're just selling an item for money from other players that they've already earned. But it is a step in the wrong direction, I think, if we don't want to see microtransactions in our game.
I very much hope it doesn't.
I believe so. They kind of do in the form of bonds, to where you can spend money to get, bonds. You get those little 70s and full bandos, but the combat bracelets. So, yeah, I think, we might see more of that just because it lines their content or, their pockets. And in a way, it kind of helps the game, whereas they're able to put more money into it and, hopefully keep the game growing.
I don't think they're gonna go down that path. I feel like they kind of learned their lesson with the things that they did add to RuneScape 3, and I feel like they know that the old school community is so against that they would just lose so much respect if they decided to do something like that. I really can't see a future where something like that gets implemented to old school.
I don't think it will ever have pay to win, but I'm worried at some point that they might have to implement cosmetics. Because I feel like they're always, in a way, struggling for money. That's just kind of the vibe I get with some of the things that they do. And it's like, because obviously if they had more money, they'd be able to have more staff, and they can help get updates out.
It already does. Bonds exist. I bought bonds so I could get some whatchamacallit. I think I bought 2 5-packs actually, spending $80, sold them and got
you,
to be able to
you buy bonds like you buy beer, like 6-packs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't buy them in the individual packs. Some people look at it the way it's like, hey, we're all adults that play the game now, but we don't have as much time to grind things out. So the time I spend at work, I want to be able to do the content I enjoy more, which is buying bonds, which is funny because that's the same logic that's used by these websites that do stuff for you, right? I don't know if you've ever seen advertisements on Facebook, but they're like, hey, we're all adults now, we have real world, leave the grind to us, we'll get you up to high levels so then you can do end game content. And I look at that, I'm like, that's a good point,
They know how to pull you in.
Exactly, but I'm always too scared of being like, hey, I've already invested this much into this account, I don't want to throw it away by risking spending money on a service. But I haven't played RS3, and I hear it's more microtransaction-y, but at the end of the day, RuneScape has bonds which have a direct equivalency to gold, meaning the game is already in a sense pay to win.